Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of McMillan and Morrow. I'm Dr. Sean McMillan. This is my co-host, Rich Morrow.
What up, what up?
And we are available. Here we are, people. You and I, us, back together again. We decided to bring the band back together for another exciting episode. And if you've been watching recently, you know that, well, the show's been great. Yeah. And so welcome to greatness, people. I'm just saying. All right, listen. We do the exciting, the interesting. Travel around the world, listening to people do very interesting things, and we talk about it.
We're going to try to get through a good chunk today. We go off the rails pretty often on our show, but I got a lot of things I feel like I want to hit today that are going to be interesting to you, hopefully. Hopefully. Big emphasis on hopefully. So, very first subject that we're going to get on today, this is actually a topic that I know you're passionate about.
Really?
Books.
You're right.
So, according to the CBC in Canada.
CBC?
The CBC. It's probably Canadian something.
I'm always
trying to figure out these.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah.
Okay.
A school board in Ontario, Canada is facing controversy over its equity-based book weeding process. Mm-hmm. So they're weeding books out of their libraries now, and they're getting this lashback or, whatever, because they're starting to remove books that were published before 2008. Well, and it's leading to concerns about historical and educational content being lost. Some of the key points are book removal. The board removed books published before 2008, as I said, as part of the equity-based weeding process, causing a significant reduction in available books. The weeding process involves 3 steps: identifying older books, conducting an anti-racist and an inclusive audit, and assessing representation. Do you get what I mean by that?
I do.
Okay. Criticism. Critics argue that this approach doesn't align with standard library weeding practices, which focus on damaged or outdated books usually. They're concerned that valuable historical information could, of course, be lost. 2008 isn't that long ago, by the way. It's only, 15 years? Subjectivity concerns are that people have concerns about the subjective nature of the criteria that they're using, such as inclusivity and how different schools interpret this criteria, because it's not going to be the same for every school district if they're doing it this way. So the stakeholders emphasize the need for transparency and consultation, with students and the community playing a role in decisions about the book removal. So they feel that the community should be more involved in this process.
I get it, but where are we going with this?
Do you think that we should be banning books in schools? And if so, by what criteria? And who should be selecting this? Like, who should be the one in charge of deciding what books children aren't reading anymore? And are there important offensive books that should be read that you feel should never be taken out, regardless of the year or, date that it was created? And yeah.
Let me just cut across the field. No, we shouldn't be banning books.
I don't think so either.
And we shouldn't be banning books for either side of the equation. We shouldn't ban books because they have racist content in them. Mm-hmm. So we want to protect our children from the microaggression of that.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be banning books because they tell the truth about the racist history.
Those same things, yeah.
Racist, no, it's a little different. Racist history of America,
America
or of the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
No, what we should do is let people read what writers in prior generations have said, and then give students, this is where some of my progressive friends won't agree with me, give students what the traditional reading of this book has been, and then give them what we would consider an enlightened modern reading of the book is. Mm-hmm. So you give them both sides. You say traditionally in America, this is how we've read Hawthorne or Faulkner or Hemingway, right? This is how we've read these books as being this and this and this and this and this. And then we say, however, now that we are in 2023,
and we've seen how that's turned out,
and we have better ways of contextualizing books, their consequences and their outcomes, this is how different communities read this book.
True.
Let's have a conversation about what you think about that. Right?
And that would be,
so you affirm and I'm just going to be honest, what white folks have traditionally thought about something and say, well, yeah. And then you acknowledge the fact that how white folks traditionally think about something ain't the only way to think about it.
And I think it's important to make sure that we see how black people interpreted things back then too, because they were actually there to see and
you're right.
give remarks about.
You're right,
what
but I'm
was
talking about how modern audiences are encountering books.
books. Period.
Books. So no, we should not be banning books.
Yeah.
And to think that a book written after 2008 can be just as racist as a book written in 1888. Didn't Ron DeSantis just write a book? Like in the last 2 or 3 years? I mean, come on. When a book is written does not necessarily
mean anything.
Preclude it being.
If that was the case, nobody would look at the Bible either, or anything that was created a long time ago at all.
But the point I'm making is the opposite, and that a book written after 2008 isn't necessarily enlightened.
Exactly.
It depends on who the damn audience
Doesn't guarantee anything,
right?
yeah.
So banning books is a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Because we shouldn't protect people from ideas.
It's still freedom of speech, too, right?
We should expose people to as many. Humanity, being human is so hard. We need as many ideas and words we can put our hands on to help us be better versions of it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is a little different than what you're going to commonly hear on a show. Because most people who are progressive like me are going to say, we need to teach children the truth. We need to teach them what happened, who did it, and the consequences, right, of a book. Okay. I'm saying something a little different. I'm saying, yes, we should do that. But let's also include in that how this book has traditionally been accepted in the canon.
Yeah.
Let's take the book and take it seriously. This is how certain communities encounter this book. This is how other communities encounter this book. As a learner, as a student, where do you sit in that continuum?
That's what sociology forces you to do.
And how do you justify where you sit?
Yeah.
Now that you know this or that, how do you justify your position? That's education.
That's I was going to say. You're teaching people about themselves, but also about other people.
Teaching them how to think for themselves.
Exactly.
And I think that's the point of education. So, do I think a book, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom's Cabin, right?
Was that by Hemingway?
No.
No, who did that?
No.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Okay,
who read that? Who who wrote that?
Let's keep going.
I want to know though.
Mark Twain.
That was Mark Twain? Okay.
Twain.
Knew it was somebody famous.
But let's keep going. The point I'm trying to make is that book racist? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it have racist stereotypes in it? Of course.
Yeah.
Was Mark Twain a racist? I don't know.
I was going to say.
But I know it shows up in his work.
And the time that he was living in.
Exactly. Should we ban that book and not allow black children to read it? No. Should we not allow white children to read it? No. They both should read the book.
It's education.
But they should read it with commentary. They should read it with critique. They should read it with a sense of the value of the beauty of the writing, right?
True.
Because even racists can write well.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't got no,
i.e. Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jefferson can write, Doc.
Yeah.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for people to dissolve the political bands that have bound them to another, and to assume among the nations of the earth a free and equal station which the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them. A decent respect for the opinions of mankind require that they declare the cause which impelled the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights among these life, liberty, pursuit.
As racist as he was, it was beautiful.
I mean, it's beautiful writing.
We can't argue that.
He's a pedophile and a racist. Sleeping with Sally Hemings, 14-year-old girl, and he's owning slaves.
But he can write the hell out of it.
But the man can put a sentence together.
Yeah. Which is why you can't be fooled by words.
Oh, no, you just stumble on something good, I almost slap you with my shoe. Which is why you can't be fooled by somebody being gifted.
Exactly.
Because you can be gifted and a monster at the same time.
There's a lot of monsters.
Oh, that was good, Doc. You don't even know what you just said.
You're right.
Oh, yeah, you can be gifted and be evil at the same time.
And it raises my point
Because the Bible says, hold on,
go ahead.
that gifts come without repentance. But I interrupted.
Yeah, no. I was going to say it raises the point to me of why it's so important for those other older books to be still around, for people to be able to see the difference. You'll never know the difference if you don't know where we came from.
If you only get books that agree with you, if you only get books that make you look good and feel good, you won't grow. True. And you won't be educated.
Yeah.
If I remember, this is going to get me in trouble, like your coach.
Yeah.
This is going to get me in trouble. I remember when I first went to graduate school. No, not first, but when I first went to the University of Chicago, and I was going to work with a professor who said to me, and with a straight face, you should only take my classes.
Only his.
Now, this guy was a leading person in what's called Black theology.
Okay.
And I shouldn't do air quotes, Black theology.
But he actually was.
And he was, one of the leaders. He studied with James Cone and people,
Bunch of big people.
And he thought that my education would be complete
just by learning from him.
If I only took his classes.
That don't even sound right.
What he was trying to say was I should only be concerned about Black theology. And I said to him, in no uncertain terms, you think I came to the University of Chicago
just
to only know Black theology? So I'm not supposed
That's
to know.
True.
I'm not supposed to know Tillich or Barth or Aquinas or Augustine.
It's just all meaningless, huh?
Or Wittgenstein.
Yeah.
Or Nietzsche or Kant. I'm just only supposed to know
Black theology.
what I already know.
Yeah, from your perspective too. Only your perspective
because
too.
I'm Black.
Yeah, no.
Right?
No, yeah.
And think about God. No, sir.
That don't even sound right.
I stopped working with him that day.
I bet you did.
No, literally. Stopped working with him, stopped interacting with him. The same afternoon, I went to another professor. I said, I need to start working with you because this one has lost their mind.
Yeah.
You're not going to limit my education. And I know a lot of Black people now only want to read Black books and see Black music. Listen, you do that. I'm fine with that. I drink from it all.
Well.
I'm going to go to Asia if I feel like it. I'm going to go down into Brazil. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get me some Portuguese.
And that's what it took a lot of our most prominent figures in our history to do, to enlighten themselves beyond what their scope was. We saw it with Dr. King. We saw it with Malcolm. We saw it with a bunch of prominent figures in our history that when they got out and started to see more of what they didn't know outside of just Black theology, that was when their ideologies hit the next level and started reaching everybody in the
Dr. King
world.
said something interesting. He said when you wake up in the morning, you're putting on clothes that came from China. When you pour your coffee, it comes from Brazil. When you put your makeup on, you got that from a lab in Europe.
Yeah.
He said, and then you cut your TV on and you pick up your phone and it's run by coltan that comes out of Africa.
A whole different country.
He said, before you leave your house, you've counted on half the world to get you out the door. That Dr. King was up there.
And he said that when?
Listen,
that's crazy.
Use the examples.
I know, but you get what I'm saying.
But
to understand back then is amazing.
You've counted on half the world to get you out the house. So this notion that you can only read something that reinforces what you already know about your culture, to me, is deeply problematic.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the goal is to be cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
To stand in your Blackness, to rejoice in it, but to also be able to allow other parts of the world to inform, to criticize, to be in conversation with who you are. And when you're truly proud of yourself, right?
Yeah.
You wanna establish your place in the garden.
Yeah.
Of human achievement.
You get to be a seed that's growing.
Not just in the parts of it that are Black.
Yeah.
Now let me be very clear. I'm proud of who I am.
And as we should be.
100%. And I know the canon that relates to us.
Yeah.
All right? Don't nobody know.
Both things can be true and exist in the same human being.
Listen, Ellison is my guy.
Yeah.
But I also like Hemingway.
Yeah. Ellison
has long sentences. Hemingway, short, declarative, clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know how we got into this. Stop banning books.
Yeah.
Stop banning books.
Yeah, no, that's everything. Books are, I think, the key to a lot because before
How about
books, we
this?
didn't have nothing
How about
else.
people start reading books?
I was gonna say.
we had this whole conversation about banning
And most
books.
people don't even read them.
People are reading books. People ain't reading books.
Not no more.
I mean, count on the Republicans to ban something that people ain't even doing no more.
Yeah.
That's how behind the times they are. Banning books. People are watching videos. Now, when they start banning videos,
Oh, the world's gonna
is
be in
when
an
people are
uproar.
going to be in an uproar.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about banning books. Ban some videos and watch what happens.
It's like banning ideas. But let's go to the break.
Not like banning ideas.
No, what I'm saying, it is.
Literally banning ideas.
Yeah, it is. It's a mess. But let's go to break. We're going to come back and ask some questions.
It's not the end
from
of
our
the show,
fans.
right?
No, it's not the end of the
Last
show.
time
We're
you
gonna go to-
snuck up on me.
I'm doing a better job of making sure that we have a
Yeah, you
couple
are like
breaks
the
in
time
between.
guy.
Trying to make sure that we stay on track here. But I think we hit some great topics on that for sure.
Yeah, so when I come back, we're going to give you, when we come back, we're going to give you a book list.
I didn't know that, but I guess we are.
Right
We'll
after
be right
this.
back.
And we're back, people, okay? Because we were equivocating about whether we was coming back quickly or not, but we're back,
Yep.
okay? Because we got things to do.
We got things
and we
to
got
do.
things around.
And
Now,
we know you got things to do.
Yeah, I promised the book list, didn't I?
We did. Give them 3 books.
3 books, all right. Short story, read Drowned by Junot Díaz, or read Interpreter of the Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri, okay? Great short stories. Like regular books?
Just give them a range. Give them
fiction and then a nonfiction.
one nonfiction, one fiction.
I gave him 2 fiction. Nonfiction, if you wanna like be philosophical, then read Cornel West, The American Evasion of Philosophy.
Okay.
Although I don't think Dr. West should be running for president, which you can ask me about later.
Okay.
But another great nonfiction would be Shadow and Act by Ralph Ellison, a book of essays about America, culture, race. Ellison can write his tail off.
Yeah.
And of course, The Source of Self-Regard by Her Majesty, Toni
Toni
Morrison.
Morrison.
Yeah.
By her man.
Book list, people. You're welcome.
Good. Good list. Good list. We'll put those on.
Aaron,
the
you better
screen
read
for
a
them
book, boy.
I need to.
There you go. See there?
I need to.
I knew he wasn't reading no. He looked like a video guy.
I think everybody could use more books in their life.
Yeah, read a
I don't
book,
care
man.
who you are, you know?
I just downloaded a book. Hold on, let me tell you about this book.
Okay.
I just downloaded a book.
Talk is giving us a new book.
This was about Biden. The Last Politician. Where is it at? Anyway. Yeah, it's about Biden.
Yeah. You liked it? Did you read it yet or no?
Yeah, The Last Politician
Inside Joe Biden.
by Franklin Foer.
Franklin Foer.
It's actually a pretty good book.
Okay.
Yeah, people underestimate Biden.
Yeah.
Y'all better.
That's just because he be having his moments, and then they go viral, and that don't help the situation.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not laughing because what annoys me about this culture is how it disrespects age.
That's what it is. It really is
But I
disrespectful.
almost like cussed for real right there.
Yeah.
With a couple of F-bombs.
Yeah. I'm only laughing because it's funny that they do it.
Not at you.
I know.
But just at the culture.
First of all, it's a blessing to get to that age.
First of all, it's not African.
Yeah.
There's some European mess.
Yeah.
White folks. Tyler.
I'm sorry.
Tyler take the heat for the whole white race on this
Tyler.
show.
We Tyler. Anything white and crazy is Tyler.
He take the heat for all the white people
That's
out
how
there.
Africans treat age.
Yeah, no.
We honor.
We respect and honor
the
our elders.
You know what I'm saying? We go to them for wisdom. We listen to what they have to say. Now, and they're not like gods or anything.
Yeah.
But we don't disrespect somebody because they're old.
No.
I mean, come on, what are we doing?
It's like y'all ain't got no grandparents. Y'all ain't never had no grandparents.
No, because we live in a culture where if you ain't young, you're not beautiful. And if you're not thin, you're not attractive. And if you're not light, you're not, you know what I'm saying?
This or that.
Black folks should not be participating
And none of that.
in none of this craziness.
No.
We
That's
should
adopted
be
behavior.
the ones saying, this is what's wrong with the world that y'all built. What's wrong with Western culture is that you disrespect age. You are not driven by wisdom. You function on immediate gratification. You think an 18-year-old should run the world. You hand your culture over to 23-year-olds, and then you wonder why the culture is in trouble.
Because they don't know nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
You ready for these questions?
I don't know.
We got you warmed up for them.
Yeah, I'm fired up now.
Yeah, this is why I think it's a good time.
Because it just annoys
We
me.
done warmed you up.
I'm annoyed by that.
The water's boiling, people. I think we should put the noodles in. You ready?
He's not credible because he's old.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with credibility more than just your ability to be able to do your job. Can you just do your job right? You know, that's what matters at the end of the day.
You trying to say he can't do his job?
No, I'm saying that has nothing to do. I'm not even talking about Biden. I'm talking about
'cause you
when
about to get
people
me
start
started on
to
you.
try to dismiss age. It's like it's not as important as it is them being able to achieve whatever.
Let me just say this, then we can move on. If you give me the choice between Satan
And who?
and anybody,
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
was about to make a
was like,
comparison.
where is this going?
I'm so glad you corrected that.
if the choice is between Satan and Biden,
Yeah,
give me Biden.
yeah. I mean,
Donald Trump is Satan.
okay.
And Joe, you better not clip this out the show either. Because I will say Donald Trump is Satan throughout the whole episode so that you cannot clip it out. That's how evil I am.
We won't clip it out. Promise.
I can contextualize the statement. Got my
I don't
cup
think
in
you
here.
need to. I think we should go on to these questions, but it's up to you.
I don't mean literal Satan.
It's your world.
He's politically Satan.
Yeah.
Does that help,
That's
Joe?
a good way to cover that
Does that
up.
help, Joe?
Yes.
Politically Satan.
I'm not sure it matters at this point what
No,
you mean.
because listen, we can get to these dumb questions you want to ask me in a second.
They're not my questions.
You got to take a stand.
Yeah,
At some point, you got to draw a line
I agree.
and say there's too much at stake to be playing games. The man is dangerous.
Yeah.
He's not just delusional and crazy. He is dangerous.
To humanity.
And it's because this kind of ties into everything we were talking about. It's because our culture has never had to live, our generation, mine and yours, we've never had to live through genuine, destructive moments.
Yeah.
We haven't. We didn't live
Destructive to what?
through. No, let me finish my thought.
Okay.
We didn't live through World War I.
Yeah.
We didn't live through World War II.
Yeah.
We didn't live through the Great Depression.
Yeah.
We keep going. We didn't live through segregation. We didn't live through the Civil Rights era. We didn't live through lynching.
Yeah.
So we have no active working knowledge of how the world
It can
be.
actually get, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We just read and watch it.
We just read it and watch it. We watching videos with Aaron.
and then we watch them make movies about it. Yeah.
We watch videos
watch
about
videos
it
with Aaron.
Aaron. We haven't lived through any of that.
Yeah. We've seen glimpses of it.
We've seen gestures.
Yeah.
It's one thing, brother, to say go to a Black Lives Matter protest. Oh,
Yeah. Here we go, the
I did it
elbow
again.
again. Goddamn
It's
elbow.
listen, it's over. It's one thing.
That thing look weak. It look like it's
I'm
struggling.
sorry, Aaron. I don't know how I did this, but we'll fix it later. It's one thing to go to a Black Lives Matter protest and to get into a verbal confrontation or confrontation with the police.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be in slavery.
It is. It's another thing to have laws put against you saying you can't
It
sit
ain't the same
somewhere
thing.
or go somewhere.
My point
Yeah.
is,
It can be so much worse than we've experienced
and it will be
if we allow people to do
if we elect people who have a proclivity for mendacity and evil. People think, oh, this is just a binary choice. No, it
No,
ain't.
it ain't.
It's choosing between Satan and somebody else.
Yeah.
Sorry, people. I know y'all didn't come for the politics, but
Here you go.
we can't shake our butts every day. Okay? We can't go to strip clubs all the time.
So, question. What would your ideal leader of the most powerful country in the world look like right now?
Look like?
Not
Or be?
not physically, but I mean, what would their essence, their everything that they stand for be about, in your opinion, that would help our country the most? Because obviously all eyes are always on the U.S. But being in that position as the leader of the free world, the most powerful country in the world, as they say, I feel we need a figurehead that represents all that we aim to accomplish as a country. And I don't know if we've ever really had that other than maybe one or two times.
Can I just jump in and say that, in my opinion, my estimation, the ideal leader for this country is a woman. Black woman, white woman,
Any woman
Latin
that
woman,
has certain...
but not any woman, because we don't.
No,
want
I said that has
we don't want
certain-
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
that has certain...
Okay. Or
qualifications.
Bober, what's her name? Bober from,
I don't know.
yeah.
Don't matter.
The one, she was the one Marjorie Taylor Greene was fighting with, arguing with,
okay,
and
okay,
cussing each other out
Okay.
on the damn floor of the house.
Yeah, that don't...
Anyway, but find out who that woman's name, what that woman's name is. But I think a woman, someone who is egalitarian and smart and decisive, but compassionate,
Yeah.
with a sense of history and understanding. Someone who says what they mean and means exactly what they say. Someone who knows that you have to negotiate.
Yeah.
Sorry, progressives.
That's politics.
It's not it's life.
It's life.
You don't get all of what you want.
You're right.
You got to negotiate. And that ideals are great to have.
Yeah.
But your ideals have to be in conversation with the truth, with reality.
That part.
Somebody who can be idealistic but pragmatic at the same time. Yes, we'd like to have 100% of what we want, but let's try to get 60 of it in the first 2 years. And we'll work on the rest
other
as we
40
go
as
along.
we go. But we can't get the 100 without getting the 60 first.
And it's not a failure if we only get 40% of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As some progressive wanted to be. But someone who understands that conservatives are a part of this country too.
Sometimes you got to hit a single. Sometimes
And
you gotta hit a
they
double.
are a part of the ethos of America.
Absolutely.
While I disagree with them about everything, except for their right to be here and their right to have an opinion and their right to be a part of the conversation.
So,
to me,
yeah.
that's the ideal leader. Someone who doesn't pit communities against each
A
other.
woman who has the capacity to see it from all angles.
No, I'm describing a woman.
Yeah, period. That's funny.
Everything I've said is basically what women do all the time.
Yeah.
With their children, with their husbands or whoever
Yeah.
they love. Listen.
So do you think as men, the power influences the ego and the things that come out of...
men have messed up the world?
Yeah.
And we pray for a woman who can come along and help us make it better.
Yeah.
We've messed up the world.
And it's a man saying that, people,
I mean,
who knows a lot of these leaders that we talk about and has been around them and knows behind the scenes. You hearing it from somebody on the
No,
inside.
can I say something? America, America, the country that I was born in, the country in which I will more than likely die. You big dummies. You should have elected Hillary Clinton. Everybody take a deep breath and then say, Dr. Sean, you're right. Go ahead.
Dr. Sean, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care which Hillary's this and Hillary's that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Hillary. Oh, she's eating babies and drinking the blood. Idiots. You let some white folks in Russia
Propaganda.
lead you down some crazy path. And we ended up with Satan. Or they're the same. They are not.
And the woman the name was Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert. I said her name, right?
Yeah.
Boebert, yeah, Lauren Boebert. Thank you. How'd you know that?
Tyler.
Oh, he's sitting on the thing?
Yeah, I don't know it.
How do y'all communicate?
We be talking without talking.
Telepathy.
And I still haven't been able to answer you any of these questions. Can we get through these questions?
Okay. I've been on a whole
I did have a
rant.
good question, though, because I felt like I really
I
wanted to
couldn't
know
have
your
it so
answer to that. And I think hearing your answer to that question about who our ideal leader is something I think I've never even thought to ask you.
Yeah, I think we need a woman.
Yeah, I felt that in a lot of ways too. I just think women leaders have
We need
a different feel for
we need
everything.
a mother.
Mother. We need a mama to mother our
America
country.
needs a mother.
We got Lady Liberty, and we've never had a Lady Liberty, which is crazy. We've got a
need a mother.
fictitious symbol of it that people saw when they first hit our country from coming anywhere else, and we ain't never even had that representing our country,
We need a mom.
which is crazy. We need a mom. I
Somebody
agree.
to spank our little butts. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
My mother should have been president.
My mama definitely could have been president, too.
Tyler, your mom should be president.
No.
Yours too, Aaron.
I love my mom, but no.
We need a
Aaron,
great mother to be president.
your mom should be president.
She might be able to do something.
Listen, my mom would have been a great president.
Yeah.
My mom would have said, no,
No. Yeah. No.
No.
And it would have been final
go clean up your room.
for the whole country. Everybody go to your room.
Everybody go to your room and figure out what you're going to do with yourself.
And don't come out until you do.
Right.
Questions.
Yes.
Or we're never going to move on. First question from one of our fans out there.
Well, these are fan questions.
These are fan questions.
This is the time
first
in
one
the
was my
show,
question.
people, where you send in questions, he reads the questions and asks me what they are.
Yes.
Okay.
So if anybody out there, Cameron, anybody out there has questions, please submit your questions, whether it be on our Instagram, YouTube, whatever. You can reach out to me. I will answer.
Hold
Maybe.
on. But be nice.
But be nice.
Don't come with no mean questions.
Yeah. Actually, I hope somebody has at least one mean one day, so we can
'Cause
see
you gonna
your
get a
reaction.
mean
I wanna
answer.
see
Oh,
this
here it
reaction.
comes.
But we're gonna ask the first question. In the era of information, where every belief can be validated online, basically, which is true, how can you know the truth?
But not looking for information that confirms your belief.
But some people
Ooh,
spend their whole lives doing that because they don't know no better.
Well, now they do.
I know.
Because they watch the show. And this is the reaffirmation of belief is not knowledge.
It's just more belief in
It's just belief on top of belief.
on top of belief.
And this is why I said on other shows that we've had, you know what's messed up the world? Religion.
Yeah.
But not actual religion in terms of Islam, Christianity.
People's interpretation.
No, it is the dependence of the view that belief is the thing we need the most.
Oh.
You know why people can follow Donald Trump? Not just because of the racist stuff, but because they can look past information that does not confirm what they believe, because belief is so central to them. In a different part of American history, belief was not the most important thing about being a public figure, confirming belief or establishing them, or articulating your belief. There was a time in American culture when making sense was the most important thing.
When was that?
Like in the 40s.
That was when things were starting to make the most sense
Well, that's right
politically
after,
and government-wise.
that's right after we came out of a depression.
Yeah. People had to wake
And
up. They had
people
no
were like,
choice.
the hell with belief.
We all broke. We gotta get it together.
We need some actual bread.
Somebody who's gonna produce some money.
We need somebody.
We can't believe that we got money. We need to actually have some
We need
money
some
now.
actual help.
Real dollars, not printed online.
There you go.
None of that. We need real, tangible value.
Enter Franklin Delano Roosevelt, right? Enter Harry Truman,
Truman.
right? Enter
was
Booker T.
after him?
Washington.
Okay.
Enter W.E.B. Du Bois. Folks who had to make sense.
Yeah.
So, what was the question again?
Were they all in those same times? How can you know the truth?
This is a great question. I'm glad this person asked
Yeah.
it. By adjudicating information against the backdrop of other information from different sources.
Different sources that
Okay.
line up with one another.
No. They don't have to line up with each other.
Okay.
They can disagree.
Okay.
So, for example, I'll give you sort of a trite example. if you watch something on Fox News, and Fox News says X, Y, and Z about X, Y, and Z, right? Then see what CNN says about X, Y, and Z. Then go to
Another one.
the Washington Times, which is a conservative newspaper, and then go to the Washington Post, which is a liberal newspaper, and see what X, Y, and Z is,
Okay.
right?
And
then, if you really want to be smart, you go to independent, nonpartisan sources.
that ain't got no
That ain't got no
connection to
bent
either
at
one of
all.
them. And get you an unbiased opinion.
And you understand truth is what we have a consensus about.
I got you.
Truth is not what you feel about a subject. The hell with your feelings.
Yeah.
When you want truth, you can't have it without that information being in what we call in the academy peer-reviewed. Other experts
Yeah.
dealing with it, talking about it, and coming to a consensus about what's actually the case.
Because it's usually somewhere in the middle, huh?
Well,
Between a bunch of different.
no,
Experts.
No, because that I'm glad you said that. Because that's what people want you to believe.
Yeah.
That truth is something that we can vacillate about,
Yeah.
equivocate about. What's actually the case is actually the case.
It's factual.
Right. It's actually the case. For
That's
example,
what- okay, go ahead.
let me finish.
Go ahead.
For example, the Donald Trump tax cut that he loves to run around telling people about was actually the Paul Ryan tax cut. Paul Ryan was the one who came up with that.
Trump took credit for it.
Right. He invented something, a narrative, but the truth is, without Paul Ryan being
That
Speaker of
doesn't
the
exist.
House, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It was his idea. His
That's
tax
like
cut.
Adam Clayton Powell back then coming up with all these different bills that people like Truman and different people ended up implementing, but they needed people that came up with those ideas to get to the floor before they were even able to.
And the way we know the truth is because it is available to us, is the point that I'm making.
True.
What people like to do
Which is why we can't remove books before 2008 and things like that of crazy nature, because we would lose a lot.
What a
of
lot of people like to do is they like to do what you just did
Yeah.
and say that truth is somewhere in the middle. Well, who can really know? No, we can actually know.
Yeah.
We
Because there's enough history and evidence.
We're not talking about, wait a minute, we're not talking about philosophy,
You're right.
which is speculative.
You're right.
That we may not know. We're talking about what actually happened, right? And it can be measured.
True.
So, how can we know the truth? Well, we have to put it in conversation with other parts of itself,
True.
and with other ways of thinking and being in the world. And,
You know what?
and hold on, and it also depends on what it is we're trying to discover.
Absolutely.
If we're trying to discover something factual, that's easy.
That's easy.
If
Yeah.
we're trying to discover something that is more opinion based, then you
a
have to
little
be in conversation with people with other opinions.
You're right.
If your opinion cannot survive the scrutiny of a rigorous conversation, you should let it go.
Yeah. Because it should be able to be argued. Question.
Yeah.
Do you agree with the statement that when the truth is in the room, everybody knows it?
No.
No.
But again, it
Do you
depends.
think you can feel it when the truth is in the room? Like if somebody says a factual statement that you know is a fact for sure, do you think it has the ability to be felt by somebody who may not have believed
Not
it before?
anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
Not anymore. There was a time where I would have said yes,
Yeah.
but not any. People are so in their silos.
Yeah, I think there's so much information out there now too.
People are just reaffirmed in their lunacy.
So they're searching more so for affirmations to whatever they already believe, as opposed to things that are going to open and challenge their thinking to develop a new.
But let me say this: I was on
understanding.
TikTok yesterday, right? Why are you laughing? Why is that so funny with that? I'm on
You and TikTok, man.
I did it again. I was on TikTok yesterday, and I watched this video about something, and TikTok thought that I wanted to see 100 of these videos.
Since you like this, we're going to
Right.
suggest
So
these.
TikTok started sending me 300,000 of these videos, and I just thought this is how it happens.
I got a funny example of that. That's like just because somebody likes the color yellow and breakfast food, you assume they like eggs. You know what I'm saying? It's like people add up these things that don't.
But the point,
Nothing to do. You get what I'm saying?
No.
It's a trickle effect. No, but I'm saying they assume just because you like something that may have resembled something, they're going to give you a replication of all of these different things just because they assume you like that, just because you liked one thing that may have had one shade of it. That was my point. It's like just because you like yellow and you like breakfast food don't mean you like eggs. You know what I mean?
I get it.
And that's what I was getting at.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You did that.
You're not going to make me feel for that statement. And I was like, that was a good statement. I was standing behind that statement.
I know.
Because people add up stupid stuff all the time that don't equate to nothing.
Look,
I know I'm right about that.
I started parenting you for a second. I was like, yes, I know. I know.
You're like, oh, look at him getting enlightened. Yeah, but that's my thing though.
I was thinking, look at my son. He's just so intent about this.
Because it's true.
Good job.
And you said this is how it happens.
Tell him, Rich.
That's because people be adding up.
You tell him.
They add up. What did you say earlier? They add up imaginary things for insignificant or forgotten mountains.
You're off the rip.
We are.
Not we, pumpkin. Not we. You. You are.
Oh, he got pumpkin.
That's what I call my sons, pumpkin.
So I'll wrap that up and just say a lot of people add things up that.
Can I get back to my point?
And draw conclusions.
I just want to, let me drive.
Go for it. I'm back in the passenger seat. I was holding. You know when you're in the passenger seat, you grab the wheel for a second.
Take a nap.
I might have jerked the wheel a little bit.
Yeah, you just put the seat back.
I'm gonna just put the seat back and roll the windows down and turn the radio up.
Let me drive a little bit.
Go ahead.
So I was on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I watched the video, and they started sending me all these videos about the same thing.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, this is how it happens. Mm-hmm. Because the more you see this, the more you think it's true.
Yeah.
The more you believe it because all these people have said it. And I think who knew that we would be in 2023 having a conversation that took place originally in the late 1700s?
Yeah. And still trying to decide or argue whether or not what's factual.
Let me just say, that those of you who are really, really smart, you'll understand the force of what I'm saying. Who knew that after the Enlightenment, we would still be trying to figure out epistemology? And those who know, and those who don't know, don't worry about it. Let's move on.
Next question. Or we can go to break and then answer the next question. Let's go to break real quick. We need a break. We got to pay our sponsor.
Some of us need a break more than others.
Yeah, we gotta pay our bills real quick. We're going to go to break and we're going to come back because that was a mouthful. And, yeah, you got anything before we go to break you want to give?
No, I want to drink this coffee that I can't drink on screen.
Doc wants to drink his coffee. We're going to be right back.
Right back.
Enjoy your generic coffee.
Want the best of Maury? Kevin, you are not. Want the best of the Steve Wilkos show? Would you take Dave Beck if you left Katie?
Want the best of Jerry Springer?
Just download Nosy on your mobile device or stream it on Pluto TV, Samsung TV, or the Roku channel. Until next time, America.
We're back, everybody. So, what else?
We got a couple more questions for you before we get out of here.
Okay, come on, let's do it.
This is for our viewers. Hopefully somebody else other than just our viewer that asked can benefit from this. My dad moved states away from me with his new wife. Uh-huh. Should I feel abandoned, and is it okay to be angry?
It's fine to be angry if that's how you want to feel.
It's a feeling.
But you should know that there are other responses that will require a bit more maturity. Your father loves you, but he doesn't belong to you. Your father is your father, and he'll always be your father. Mm-hmm. But in as much as your father's been dedicated to you, you have to mature to the place where you also want him to be happy. Mm. And sometimes the only way to love people is to let them go. The true test of whether or not you're connected is, can you release? Tell your father that. Tell your father that you love him and you want him to live and be loved, and that you miss him, but you love him too much to keep him where he doesn't want to be.
And that'll probably give the relationship a whole new life of its own.
Yeah, resentment is easy.
It is. That's the easy way out.
Resentment is the clown.
Everybody can do that.
Listen, it's the clown of love. It's the fool.
But it can be overcome.
Anybody can do it.
It can be overcome.
Anybody can do it. How about we reach for something higher?
You're right.
That's the whole question?
That was the question. Is it okay to be angry and, should I feel abandoned? I don't think they should feel abandoned. I don't know their age either, though.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, they're old enough to write.
I was going to say, I don't know their age.
I'm watching this show. Yeah.
Right,
If they're watching this show,
yeah,
I
they're old
imagine.
enough to write. Listen, it's not right or wrong. You feel how you feel. The important thing is not to live there too long.
Yeah.
So if your initial reaction is abandonment and anger, do that. Get it out the way. But then what I'm inviting the person to do is to mature to a different response. And to know that anger and abandonment are not the only options. You can feel other things about this. And one of them is to feel happy for your father.
That he's got someone to love.
That he's got someone to love. He won't be
loves him.
alone. Right? Be happy about that.
Yeah.
And to know that you can have a relationship with your father no matter where he happens to be.
Absolutely.
So now distance will test how much you say you love each
That
other.
love.
Yeah. Now we got to get on a plane,
Yeah.
not just a car. But love is willing to do that. Love will fly halfway across the world. Love will take a lion and rip its tooth out if it comes after you.
Yeah.
Love will make a bear sit down. Love doesn't care that cancer has claimed your beauty. Love doesn't care if your hair falls out. It doesn't care if you forget my name and don't know who I am anymore. Love doesn't care if you're under the ground. Love will sit in front of mounds of earth and still love you through the dirt. So, you say you love your dad, you say your dad loves you. Let's see.
I would ask more questions on top of that, but I feel like it'll lead us to too much more.
Ask one more, and I'll give you a short answer. How much more
Okay.
time we got?
We probably got
5
about
minutes.
5 minutes. So
Oh,
this
I
is a
got plenty
question
of
in
time.
addition.
Come
Yeah,
on.
you think so until that
Ask
5
away.
5 minutes for us is like a blink. So are both parties equally responsible, or should the parent be the assertive one, you think?
Well, if the
Depends on their age. Or what?
the kid is an adult, it's always the case that both parties are always responsible in a relationship,
For sure.
unless the other person is a child.
Yeah.
So if it's a child, then the parent is obviously more responsible
course.
because it's a kid.
So if they're an
but if
adult.
this is somebody watching the show and able to write in constructive sentences, you're probably not technically a
A
child.
child anymore.
So of course both sides are responsible. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have adult sons. My sons are grown. Okay? Are they responsible for calling me? Yes. I mean, yes. Did I not change your diaper?
Yeah.
Did I not, you know what I'm saying? Am I responsible for calling them? Yes. Those are my sons.
Yeah.
There's mutual accountability for a relationship. And the moment you start thinking that another person should be doing more is the moment you are not doing enough. Your relationship is ruined when you think you are entitled to something you're not giving. And when people aren't giving what you're giving, then you disrespect yourself by not saying it to them.
I was going to say communication is where a lot of this
You have to
goes
let
left.
people know this ain't equal.
That
And
part,
give them the opportunity to show you who they are by the changes they make.
which is maturity.
And if they don't make those changes, then you have to make a hard decision about whether or not you want to be connected with someone who, after knowing you need more, still won't
Still
give it to
chooses
you.
not to. That's the mature, tough route. The easy route is resentment, abandonment, whatever comes to
Yeah, like my
and,
dad,
and
this,
living
my
there
dad, this, my dad, this,
and
my
becoming a
dad.
victim of
Listen,
whatever circumstance you're creating for yourself.
People have lives before their kids showed up, and we have lives after our kids are grown.
And I was curious how you were going to answer this because we talked about the hierarchy on another episode, and when you're married to someone, does the
Yeah, but I didn't like that video.
Yeah, you didn't
that
like.
way.
That's why I didn't know how you were going to answer because it's like a lot of people have.
And
that
if you
argument.
notice, I didn't get into hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
I did
Because
not,
it's love.
I did not go right. I did not go into hierarchical language at all. What I said was, be happy for your father. The same way I'm hoping in other moments of your life, he
He's
has
been happy for you. I agree.
Be
Great
happy for
answer.
your father.
Great answer.
Don't resent the man being happy and finding somebody. You know how hard it is to find somebody? Let me tell you, people, it's pretty, unless you look like this. Hold on, put the glasses on.
Still got to find
Put
somebody.
the glasses on.
Still got to
Wait,
find
wait,
somebody
wait, wait.
worthy.
Wait, look. Unless you look like that with the glasses, It's hard to find people.
But you still got to find
Give me
somebody.
my damn
worthy.
glasses back.
It's hard to find people with substance. A shell is one thing.
Well, listen.
The
It's
yolk
hard,
is
to,
a whole
it's,
nother.
hard, it's hard to find somebody who really genuinely brings out those feelings
best
of
parts of
commitment and loyalty and respect in you.
Mm-hmm.
And if your dad is, not you, but the person asking the question, if your dad has found that, he's found one of the great joys of life.
Let's celebrate it.
Shouldn't you be clapping?
Let's celebrate that.
Shouldn't you be saying, Dad, I'm happy for you. I'm excited about your future.
Yeah.
It's not just, people aren't just what they make us feel. They aren't just what they give to us. They're also the things that they want for themselves. Loving somebody is being concerned about all the chapters that don't include your name.
Including them loving themselves. Amen.
Is that, are we
We can bring it on home because that was a great point. And we could ask one more question, but we're not going to try to squeeze it in. Our 5 minutes is like 15.
Okay. Well, people, the moral of this story is there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah.
And each of us we're just trying to make it. And we will if we find a way to love.
Love each other through it. We all going through it. Why not love each other through it? It's the only way we're going to get there
Okay.
in one piece.
And thank you for the hallmark ending. All right, people. Let's just, what?
We can love through it or we can do whatever else through it. That's all I'm saying.
See you next time, people.
Put that on your Hallmark card.
The content on McMillan and Morrow is provided as commentary on news and current events for entertainment purposes.
Hey, everybody on the YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, make sure you like and comment and share. Because we got to spread the joy, people. That's how it goes. See you next time.